Well, we went to the break on questions. John, you said something really interesting, and you said about people need time to reflect. So these questions that we have inside of us are all so busy. You know, we're running around, then we get home, then it's the kids, it's the grandkids, it's the wife, it's the uncles, but you have a method, you really help your people. You say to them, you want to use journaling.
Yes, I do.
Is this one of the reasons why?
I do that, and I'm hearing now, the more I'm challenging my clients to do my strategic hour once a week, it's all you need to do. Where you get away and you stop and you think and you ask yourself the questions of life, whether it could be spiritual, could be business, relationship, but I'm actually initially aiming at them in their business context, in their leadership role. But stopping to think and get that tactile dynamic of a pen and a journal, and stopping to think for 1 hour with your coffee, with your cup of tea, and getting away from distractions, the computer, the family, the phone, whatever distractions, the pad. That's why I like people to use the very tactile dynamic of a real live physical journal, paper and a pen, and to write their thoughts. Because when we stop and reflect, we're actually giving ourselves time to ask ourselves the questions. We're asking about ourselves, about our leadership, and about people we're interacting with, about the way we're leading, about the direction we're taking for business, the many questions. And I found this, that the more consistent people do that, the deeper they're able to go about many dynamics and subjects that's going on in their world. And the more confident they come out with that when they lead. And so I stole that from a conversation I heard about a principal leaving, and the two things that she said when she was asked the question, what advice would you give to us as people in a similar role to yourself? And she said two things: the strategic hour, and the dynamic of communication. We don't communicate enough. And so I use that. I use it for myself, I use it for my clients, and I find the light goes on powerfully when they stop and they allow themselves to ask themselves the questions: how do I deal with this challenge that I'm facing with that person? How do I implement that dynamic that I need to do, the requirement that my boss is giving to me? Or how do I overcome that problem? It's because we don't stop to ask ourselves. So not only do we have no question, no answer, poor reframing. Poor questions, poor answers, poor reframing. Good, strong, powerful questions we need to ask. The questions we have inside of us, but the questions we need to actually then ask of ourselves.
So someone watching, so I'm obviously conscious of your time, because people are calling you.
Oh, yes.
But if someone's watching this now, what would be your number one piece of advice, your number one tip that they say, this is something you can do to get a better question today?
Just start asking a question. And I am not stressed about the quality of the question, because the more you ask questions, the better you'll get asking the question. So start asking a question of yourself, of your staff, of your business, of your future, of your family, of your relationship, whatever the dynamic is. But let me encourage you, do your strategic hour once a week and ask yourself a question: what am I going? Where am I going? What am I doing? You know, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Very simple way to start, by asking a question.
Wonderful.
And watch the difference it will bring into your world, and you will grow in the quality and depth and power and strength of the kinds of questions you actually ask, is what you need to do.
Now, obviously, a few people watching are going to be going, okay, that
absolutely.
sounds easier said than done. How do people engage with John? What's it like? What's that first step?
I love having a coffee with you in your boardroom, in a cafe, and having a one-on-one conversation or over Skype or FaceTime, happy to do that, love doing that. And the way to get in contact with me is john@peakconsultancy.com.au, or in Australia 0413 286 774.
Fantastic. Once again, John, that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Love sharing with you. And remember this is my business is Peak Consultancy, where I help you climb the mountain so you can see the view. Thank you so much for being with us once again.